So, one of the challenges when you move into sales management is the way you handled objections when you were a sales rep don't always apply. Let's talk about that. You have a sales rep that you spend some time with, either going a field ride or they call you and they have some challenges. And typically, the challenge is some form or some type of objection to close deals, to negotiate and get revenue. Whatever the objection is, it's something that you've heard before, but the way you handled it in the past doesn't really apply anymore. Right? Think about that. It's kind of like when you go from being in the field, in the trenches, selling, driving revenue, then you move into a management role, you go to the skybox, out of the field, and the way you handled objections 5 years ago may not apply today. And your team comes to you and is like, hey, I have this new objection, and what you told me you did doesn't work. Well, the problem is what you did doesn't work anymore. And I don't think many sales managers teach how to handle objections correctly in that sense. Because what you were doing to make you a successful sales rep, one of the advanced ways of handling objections is using third-party stories. And it seems really simple when you hear someone say it. Hey, I use third-party stories to help handle my objections. But it's such second nature to you that you forget how to teach that. So your third-party story that you used 4 or 5 years ago is no longer relevant to the team that's out in the field today. What's a third-party story, you might ask? It's when you handle an objection from your customer by referencing some other person, another prospect, another client, another competitor, some way that you can build a level of credibility and trust with your prospect. You can turn around and tell your prospect, hey, Billy, I completely understand what you're saying. I got to be honest with you. I met with Susan at XYZ company 2 weeks ago. We had the same conversation, and here's how it worked out. By simply using a third-party story and referencing somebody else, you build just a little bit more credibility, a little oomph of saying, hey, I've done this before. I'm the person that can help solve this issue for you. So when you use that third-party story, you want to use a third-party story that the customer either knows, likes, possibly dislikes, but you want to have a third-party story that has a happy ending. You don't want to have a third-party story where your customer or your prospect didn't buy your product or service. And to use these third-party stories, you should have 3 or 5 third-party stories, because the objections you hear and whatever your sales industry is are always the same, right? Your current manager, your current sales team, your current organization knows here's the top 10 objections you're going to hear in the field. They're never going to change, right? They might have different variations and different tweaks, but the objections will remain the same. So in order to be an advanced expert level of sales professional, you want to have your same 3 or 5 third-party stories that you can turn around, repeat, and share with your customer to help build that credibility and also build that confidence in buying into your product or your service. Now, if you're a sales manager, that seems really simple, but there's another problem that comes with this. What if you have a new person, right? You have a new person, and you might be the new person that's new to sales, and you're like, I don't have third-party stories. I just started 2 months ago. Great. You have plenty of third-party stories. And it is your sales manager. Sales managers, listen, it is your job to prepare your team to teach handling objections by utilizing third-party stories. If they don't have a third-party story, you share one that's relevant, you give it to them, and you teach them how to use that methodology in handling objections and driving the next revenue. That's what I got for you today. Do me a favor, subscribe to the blog before, leave me a comment in the sections below. One of the things I would love to hear is, how do you use third-party stories in building credibility in your product and your service? Guys, I'm Anthony Garcia. Thanks for joining me.